women's 5,000-metre final. What a night. This is our last individual final on the penultimate evening. Klosterhalfen, European indoor silver medalist twice, World Junior bronze medalist a couple of years ago. She's the 4th fastest in the world this year. Puria, the United States. Tanaka, World Junior champion last year. Laura Wakeman experimenting with the 5,000 and doing well to make the final. Dominique Scott, 9th in the world indoors. Schweitzer running well. Tessé Gemechu, African Games champion over 10,000 metres. And this is the 6th fastest woman in the world this year. Margaret Kemboy, Commonwealth silver medalist last year, was 5th 2 years ago. This is Fantu Werku, 6th in the world indoors, over 3,000 metres. What can they do to deny the defending champion? Elise McColgan in the form of her life. She'll need a big PB, surely, to challenge the favourite, Helena Beery. Former world indoor champion, reigning world champion, on the track over 5,000 metres, and won the cross-country gold in fine style in Aarhus back in March. The best in the world going toe-to-toe for the women's 5,000-metre title. A great race in prospect here. O'Beary the favourite. What tactics will be employed by the rest to try and put this brilliant Kenyan in some bother? She ended up 5th in the 10,000 metres. Maybe a little bit of fatigue will be in her legs. And that's a good decision by Elise McColgan to take it on here and try and make this an honest pace.
Yeah, well, Eilish isn't a natural front runner, but I'm sure when she's seen quite a lot of the rounds and some of the other events, she knows there's been a lot of tussling, there's been a lot of pushing, a lot of tripping, and maybe she just thinks, you know, if that's how the race started, she'll just put herself out there at the front. Eilish's mother, Liz McColgan, she was the Commonwealth Games 10,000 metre champion, and she's won medals at World Championship level herself. Liz actually lives out here in Doha, and Eilish trains here quite often, so she'll be really familiar with this stadium. And Helen O'Beary, she's just put herself there side by side with Eilish. O'Beary, of course, the defending champion. She's won world titles indoors and outdoors, as well as that cross-country title back in March now on the fantastic course back in Aarhus. Everyone enjoyed that competition, of course. But real contrast in running styles there between Eilish McColgan and Helen O'Beary. Eilish McColgan, of course, a much taller figure. Helen O'Beary shorter, more floaty. And at this moment, the rest of the field are just enjoying getting a ride, just letting a few laps tick off, the nerves settle, with 11 laps to go.
McColgan has had a good year. Not quite yet up to her mother's standards over the 10. But she's had a different tactic to her training, and she's forcing herself to take her rest days, and it's paying off. Britain leading on the inside. Constance Klosterhalfen is after a slice of history here. And this event began in the World Championship in 1983, but in the shorter format, the 3,000 metres. The 5,000 has been run since 1995, and in that time, no German woman has ever won a World Championship medal. How good do you think Klosterhalfen's chances are? She's in the pack, and O'Beary now leads. She's a tiny figure, the German woman, on the left of screen now, but she's proved to be so fast and so tough throughout this year. She's got a chance, hasn't she, of the podium?
She has got a chance, and she trains out in the US with Sifan Hassan, and we've already seen what she's brought to this. She's the German record holder now over the 3,000 and the 5,000 metres, and she's run a sub 4 minutes for the 1,500 metres as well.
O'Beary leads. McColgan on the inside. That's the view looking down at the 1,500 metre start, and that's been the familiar place for the Kenyans and the Ethiopians and Ugandans in the stadium. We've had a whole array of East African nations giving their support here. Their expatriated countrymen and women who are working here in Qatar have turned out in great numbers, and the Ethiopian carnival is going on right now. I can see the flags waving, there's dancing going on in the stands. They're absolutely enthralled by this great race unfolding. Jenny, do you think fatigue might be a factor for Obiri? She's very inexperienced over the 10,000 metres. Yeah, I mean, we know she's tough, otherwise she wouldn't have won that brutal World Cross in Aarhus at the end of March. But could she be feeling tired here? Or do you think the longer this goes on, the more this steady pace plays into the hands of the defending champion?
Yeah, I think the steady pace really, really helps her. I remember actually when she won the 2017 World Championships, and she ran a 60.4 seconds for the last 400 metres. So the pace is nice and slow. Yes, she's a strong athlete. She went over that cross-country course and she, you know, won it on that occasion. But I think if the pace is quite slow, she can use her speed. I was surprised that she chose to do the 10,000 metres, actually, the way the timetable went. But obviously, you know, Hellen Obiri must know how her training's going. But she's put herself back in contention now in the more favoured 5,000 metres.
I hope the atmosphere is coming across back home. It's so loud here in the stadium. The chanting is non-stop. It's like a football terrace here in the Khalifa International Stadium, as Obiri just begins to spread this out just a little bit. I think there's a bit of an injection of pace coming here. Obiri leads with Haiwa Faisa, World Junior Cross-Country silver medalist 2 years ago. She's in second, with her compatriot Gemachu, the African Games champion over 10,000 metres, coming past. Klosterhalfen's in fourth. The two Kenyans coming through. It looks like it's Kipkemoi in fifth place, the Commonwealth silver medalist from last year. And all of a sudden, after Eilish McColgan leading, we go Kenya 1, Ethiopia 2, Germany 3. That's the second group. You're watching Scott there and Puria. Obiri leads. Klosterhalfen is right there. There are little groups splintering all around the track, and at the moment it's the defending champion, the reigning world cross-country champion, who is bossing the pace here. But there are plenty hanging on to her coattails, quite happy for her to set the agenda as long as it's not too fast, and they look quite comfortable, the athletes, through second to sixth behind her.
Yeah, they do. We can just see now Eilish McColgan struggling a little bit at the back of that group. Laura Wakeman's doing her best just to hang on. Laura Wakeman moving up from the 1,500 metres. She's made 2 Olympic finals over the 1,500 metres. Very inexperienced at the 5,000. I think you're looking at an event like the 1,500 metres that we've just seen, and a lot of these athletes have obviously, you know, opted for different distances.
A group of 6 away now in this final of the women's 5,000 metres. It's Hellen Obiri, Klosterhalfen, this brilliant German. That left arm just kinks out. It's one of her idiosyncrasies, but she's very quick and very strong. She's in second, with the two Ethiopians, Kipkemoi and Rengaruk, behind her. And 2 Ethiopians just about hanging on, Gemachu and Werku. Faisa, the World Junior cross-country silver medalist from 2 years ago, has been passed. She's in a little group of 4, which contains Laura Wakeman, who's running well, and Eilish McColgan. Coming round now with 4 laps to go in the final of the women's 5,000 metres, and Klosterhalfen has just given Obiri a little shove in the back. Maybe, and she's done it again. That's the second group. Laura Wakeman, Eilish McColgan. Schweitzer, the American who set a huge PB, breaking 15 minutes for the first time to make it through. These are the athletes in 7th through to 10th. The top 6 are round the bend. And I tell you what, Laura Wakeman is beginning to close that gap, and maybe that's why Klosterhalfen just gave Hellen Obiri, the defending champion, a little nudge, because she's aware that that second group are working very well together.
Yeah, Klosterhalfen just had a look, didn't she? I think she wasn't necessarily concerned about the breakaway group of 6, but I think she just wants this pace to carry on. Iberi's been at the front right from the beginning. She shared a little bit of the early pace with Eilish McColgan, but she's just put herself at the front. I'm just watching this. She has ran 6 seconds faster than Klosterhalfen, and she's actually ran 11 seconds faster than Kip Boy. But, you know, when you put yourself to the front in a race of so many laps, it does drain you. In cycling, they talk about the drafting technique, and it is a long time to be at the front in these races.
This is good to see a German, 2 Britons and an American battling for the top 10. Determined to try and live with the pace of the mercurial East Africans, separated by the vast, gorgeous Rift Valley. A rivalry that plays out year after year on the global stage. Kenya against Ethiopia, but this time, tonight, there's a third nation in the mix for the medals. It's Constance Klosterhalfen, the European indoor silver medalist over the 1500 metres, a World Junior bronze medalist 3 years ago. She's trying to do something no woman from her country has ever done before and win a World Championship medal over the 5,000 metres. She's still in it, she's still got a chance, but 6 into 3 doesn't grow, and sometimes this sport can be so cruel. Surely there has to be a move soon.
Yeah, I'm just keeping an eye on the pace there at 4,000 metres. It looks like these women are operating around about 14 minutes 40. Of course, Obiri, that's well within her comfort zone, but this is the reason why we're only down to 6 athletes now.
And they're pulling away from that second group. It's Schweitzer of America leading those chasers with Faisa and the 2 Britons. This is the battle for bronze, silver and gold. Kenyans in the crowd, getting behind their athletes. It's going to be a really intriguing last 600 metres.
It is, and everyone's positioned, aren't they? And I think we're just going to see a burn up over this last lap. Everyone will know each other's strengths and each other's weaknesses, and it's just who's going to go first. Really intriguing. 500 metres to go now in this World Championship 5,000 metre final.
Fantu Werku, 6th in the world indoors last year, is beginning to lose touch, and so too is the other Ethiopian, Gemachu, just holding on. What a burn-up in prospect. They take the bell in this fascinating final of the women's 5,000 metres. Now the 2 Ethiopians have been dropped. It's Hellen Obiri, the defending champion, with Margaret Kip-Kemoy on the curve, holding the inside line. But look at Klosterhalfen, the German. She's working so hard in second place to produce a special moment for her nation, and she still isn't broken yet. Obiri's sprinting, but they haven't become detached. Obiri, Klosterhalfen, Kip-Kemoy. What a race, what a finish. Just when you think Doha can't deliver any more, it comes back and surprises you again. Hellen Obiri is pulling away. She's the defending champion, but she's tiring. Kip-Kemoy's trying to close. Klosterhalfen's going to settle for the bronze. But look at Hellen Obiri, the world cross-country champion, defends her 5,000 metre crown in style. Kip-Kemoy gets the silver, as she did in the Commonwealth last year. And it is, at last, a medal for a German woman in the 5,000 metres. Constance Klosterhalfen crosses the line in third. A wonderful finish from a great champion. Hellen Obiri showed such heart and such determination there. She was forced to work so hard over the last 150. She was not to be denied another glorious gold. She's so strong and just never knows when she's beaten. Obiri reigns supreme once again.
She does, and I don't know how she's got the energy to jump around after that. I alluded to last time, 2 years ago, it took a 60.4 second last lap. That one here this evening was 58.5. So no wonder that others couldn't live with her. I'd be pleased with 58.5 seconds on a second lap of an 800 metres. What we've just seen there, the strength in depth and just the sheer guts. This was a woman who just wouldn't be told no. She wanted it more than anybody else. And just that execution over the last 3 laps. She had such an excessive arm movement. She was working so hard. What a finish.
I am so pleased for Constance Klosterhalfen, because it's not true that Europeans and Western athletes can't live with the East Africans. Yes, there's great passion there. Yes, there's great heart. But what underlines great Kenyan performances, which is hard work, determination, and a passion for the sport, can also sometimes underline great European performances, and Klosterhalfen's proved that tonight with a brilliant bronze, making history for Germany.
She has. She followed the pace, didn't she? Iberi went out, she settled them all. But she's worked so hard as Coco Klosterhalfen. She's moved her whole life over to America. She's had to really bed in, get used to the training. She's found it really difficult. But when you produce performances like this on the big stage, it makes it all worthwhile. This was the moment now where the second pack formed. Iberi still surging at the front, relentless almost. A little bit of a trip, almost a fall there between the gold and the bronze medalists. But it was at 400 metre stage, wasn't it? Hellen Iberi would not give up that inside lane. Of course, you run less distance if you can stick to the curb. And she just really worked those arms. Oh, it was just a great surge. She again surged at 300 metres. She had a look round. No, there's still people there. I'm going to have to go again. But it was at this point with 100 metres to go that she just put her head down. All those moments, all those months of training, she's working there. She's hurting. Her legs are dropping. She's feeling really heavy. But then it's just the realisation. She's done it. She's defended that title.
I've just counted, Jenny, 11 personal bests in that 5,000 metre final, along with a massive championship record from Hellen Iberi. Yet another unbelievable race here in Doha. Wherever you're watching this in the world, and I know we've got people tuning in live across Africa and across the Americas, we hope you're enjoying this festival of distance running, of throwing, of heart, of great sprinters. This is a truly global sport that requires virtually no money, just the belief, the desire, and a patch of ground. If there's a local athletics club near you and you've been inspired by what you've seen and hopefully enjoyed over the last few days, go and sign up. Have a go at all the events and see where your passion takes you. An amazing night once again. Hellen Iberi successfully defends her title with a championship record. Kip Kemboi the silver with a PB, and Klosterhalfen a slice of history for Germany with the bronze. 2 British women in the top 10, and even more personal bests. Hellen Iberi inside 15 minutes, so too Buscombe, so too the Canadian Sekafine. What a night in Doha.